Hello, hello. Testing, testing. I'm doing okay. 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 It's going well. Today is May the 7th. Yep, so I'm getting some feedback. Okay. Today is May the 7th at 9:45. Oh, I said today is May the 7th at 9:45 p.m. So it's still like a little bit of feedback, but I don't know if it's you you try to talk a little bit because it's picking up when you talk. When you talk, I believe. Well, I don't hear anything now. Yeah, you sounded more clear. Okay. Yeah. You do sound a little bit choppy. Okay. Yes. Yeah. You're s- you're sounding less choppy as well. You gotta drop me the link for the live. That might be why you sound a little bit choppy. But you're definitely nowhere near as choppy as you were. Okay. Okay. Yep. I got it. I'm in it. Do you hear me? Okay. Mhm. 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 He's using Colossus. Yeah, I hear you. Mhm. Uh-huh. Mm. Yeah. Um, uh, well, like you said, it's still unforeseen. And we have to, we've never had anyone like this before. Yeah. Well, is there any way you can look up the? I can hear myself on your feedback. Okay. Hello. Oh, sorry. Um. Uh. Is there any way that you can look up? Sorry. Is there any way that you can look up the uh, not the not the loads, but the um like how much is available in the shipyard? I forgot what it's called.
You mean the hold on, let me see.
Freight.
Yeah, anything.
Can you pull that up?
Shipyard freight update. Well, let me see what it says. It showed me some trends. Um, hmm. Okay, so one thing I'm seeing here: new UF tariffs, including a proposed 54% on Chinese goods and global tariff, are rolling the industry. A potential 1.5 million per port. Call fee on Chinese built ships could disrupt smaller. Okay, no, that's not it. Labor and strike force. Let me see. Empty shipyards. And
I guess it
apparently
would
I
be
was
like
being
freight
muted.
volume.
Say what now?
I said I'm guessing it's like freight volume maybe.
Mm-mm.
You wasn't muted the whole time you was talking.
Well, so I had it muted in YouTube, or sorry, it was the studio thing here had I had my microphone muted. So like I checked the playback and I wasn't. So yeah, see now it came through there. I wasn't doing that before. Anyways, I thought I was. I didn't notice that until later. So it was playing in X, but it wasn't playing in YouTube.
Okay.
Yes, honey, we live and direct. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to see. Like maybe let me find.
I looked up. I looked
Mhm.
at the. Um, hold on, it just kicked me out of it. B as in boy, T as in Tom, S as in Sam.gov.
Did you say B for Bravo, T for Tom, S for Sam?
.gov.
Okay, let me just do this. Bureau of Transportation Statistics. Okay. BTS.gov. Live monitor. U.S. ports. This is from April 2025. That's old. Hmm. So much for live. It is almost a month old.
Oh, it's a month old.
Well, it says the first thing on the page here is live monitoring of tanker vessel calls at U.S. ports. Check out
Right.
these tankers at anchor. And it says live monitoring of tanker vessel calls at U.S. ports. And the date here is Monday, April 14th, 2025. We're in May. It says
Yeah.
on Friday, April 4th, there were 15 tanker vessels anchored at the ports of Long Beach and Los Angeles, with 5 tanker vessels at berth. So yeah, it's not. I guess they don't have updated numbers, or they don't want to have updated numbers. I don't know.
Well, I'm seeing like a graph with like lines going across.
Hmm. Statistic products and data spotlights. Let me see that. 2025. Well, that's it right there.
I'm trying to. I just realized that I can use my iPad to see this.
Data spotlight.
Oops, sorry. Hold on. Get myself.
Trying to.
Let me see if I can.
I just realized that I can use my iPad to see this.
Okay.
Hate myself.
I just sent you that link that I have.
Just realized that I can use my iPad to see this. Okay.
You see it?
Okay. Yeah, hold on. Uh, oh, this is what you sent. Okay, latest supply chain and freight. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I had just found this when you were doing that. So yeah, which one, which specific one were you looking at? Yeah, it kept going out here on my phone too. Which specific one were you looking at? Mhm. Yeah, it kept going out here. Specific one were you looking at? Oh man, so we got all kinds of issues right now. Okay. So we got a slight problem. So it's like either gonna it's catching my voice double.
Yeah. Oh, on YouTube. Okay. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, now talk.
Catching my voice double.
No, it's not catching your voice double. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, now talk. No, it's not catching your voice double. Well, you heard the YouTube video say that, so I'm trying to hear. Okay, now talk. No, it's not catching your voice double. Well, you heard the YouTube video say that, so I'm trying to hear. Yeah, I'm not hearing you on the YouTube, but I hear you on X. No. Ooh, sorry. Sorry, anybody just listening. Huh?
Can you hear me now?
Hold on, there's a delay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not hearing you on YouTube, but I hear you on X. No. Ooh, sorry. Sorry, anybody just listening. Huh? Hold on, there's a delay. I hear you, but you're low.
On YouTube?
But I hear you on X. On YouTube, yeah.
Alright, I turned it up some more on YouTube.
Okay.
Let's see how it goes.
I do hear a double conversation. You're right about that.
Yes, that's what I was trying to avoid, so I don't know
On YouTube, yeah.
how to do that.
I turned it up some more on YouTube.
Okay.
Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, it's a double playback. A double or a triple playback.
So it happens when I turn up the volume, right?
I do hear a double conversation. You're right about that.
Yes, that's what I was trying to avoid.
See, I can hear you on YouTube with that.
I turned it up some more on YouTube.
Yeah, it's a double playback. A double or a triple playback.
So it happens when I turn up the volume, right?
I do hear a double conversation. You're right about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just tried to change some. But I now I hear you like double. But do you hear me double right now in the playback? It sounds double, like a double thing. So I sound fine now. Okay. All right. Well, that's great. Was it?
Okay. Let me try this. Okay. Okay.
I sound choppy.
Did that work out?
I'm still trying to hear it, but I sound very choppy.
I sound choppy.
Oh, well, now I don't.
Did that work out?
I'm still trying to hear it, but I sound very choppy. I sound clear.
Oh, well,
You
now I
sound
don't.
clear.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm just trying to hear that playback. If
Mm-hmm.
it's
Did that work out?
Yeah.
I'm still trying to hear it, but I sound very choppy. I sound clear.
Oh, well,
You
now I
sound
don't.
clear.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm just trying to hear that playback. If it's
Did that work out?
Yeah.
you hear it in the background. I'm still trying
Yeah,
to
I
hear
hear
it,
it
but
in the
I sound
background.
very choppy. I sound clear.
Oh, well,
You
now I
sound
don't.
clear. Yeah,
Now I'm
see,
just trying to hear
it's
that
a
playback.
setting.
If it's
Something is it's some type of setting that's
Mm-hmm.
got us playing back double.
Here we go here. Okay. Okay. Oh. Um, try saying something else.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Uh-oh, I think it messed up the stream when I did the YouTube stream. Oh wait, no, I think it's still going.
No, it's still on.
try saying something else.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I think it messed up the stream when I did the YouTube stream. Oh wait, no, I think it's still going.
No, it's still on.
Try saying something else.
Testing, testing, 1. See, yeah, it's a delay.
Eh.
I think it
It's still a delay.
I mean, the delay's fine. Is it doing the double thing though?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. It's doing double. No, it's still
Oh,
on. Yeah.
okay.
saying something else.
Testing, testing, 1. See, yeah, it's doing it 3 different times.
Oh. What do you mean? Mm. So, okay, what I did here. All right, let's see. If I do that, then we'll hear it through this speaker. Okay. All right, say something. Oh. Yeah. Okay, still in my. Right now, you're probably just hearing me in the live and not you. Like in the YouTube live, in the Twitter space, you're still hearing yourself. Like you hear everything. But for YouTube right now, it's only you're only hearing myself. Mhm. Okay. I just turned it back on, so it's just gonna do it again. So I'm trying to like play around with different settings on it. Uh, okay. But yeah, you hear it, how I was doing that? No. It's not. So on the YouTube, you can hear both of us now. Okay. Mhm. Okay, I took that off. Let me add. Okay, I think I see. Okay. All right, now you can try saying something, Mimi. I love it. Okay, that didn't capture it. Audio inputs. Okay. One more time. Okay, so that's the same as okay. Well, that made it worse. We're getting there. Okay. Hey, your phone. I mean, your hand. But then you couldn't hear me. Yeah. Well, I turned it off, so I'll put it back on then. All right. Does that, you said that that's better now? That one is better. Mhm. Okay. Maybe I should do browser. Let me try that one then. Oh, oops. Whoopsies. Okay. I'll close that one. No. Yes, what about one? So the issue here is that hmm, let's try this then. Okay. Say something, Big Papa? Man, let's do on the double account. Oh, okay. Ah, I think you got something now. So go ahead and speak, Big Papa.
Testing, testing. One, two, three.
All right. Let's see how that sounds in the live. I think I got something that works now.
Yes. Yeah.
Great.
That perfect volume, perfect everything.
Okay. Perfect.
Now do you know
Awesome.
what you did?
Yes.
Because I don't know if the settings reset or what, but
No, it keeps it. So I can lock these in. Yeah, I'll lock all of those. The only thing I really need to work on for me, I think, now is my audio. But you said I sound fine, right?
yeah, I'm still hearing you. Yeah. Yeah, your audio. It sounds like maybe it's too loud that it sounds. It's not choppy, but it has like a little static on the end.
Yeah, because it's high, so I'll turn down the volume some. It was pretty high, 'cause it was probably distorting it. Turned it down. That probably helped.
Okay. I'm trying to compare if our audio is the same or is yours louder? Am I louder than you? Okay, I sound good. Now you talk.
Okay. How do I sound? Do I sound nice and clear like you, Big Papa?
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I think that I'm little bit louder than you are,
Yeah, I
audio
adjusted
wise.
that. So, yeah,
Okay.
I see that you are coming through a little bit louder. So, but it's not doubling or anything like that now.
No, no, it's
Okay.
not.
All right. Perfect. Perfect. So I think we're in a better place with that. All right. Cool. Okay. So, with 45 minutes later, I think we finally have the audio right. We have the YouTube going right. Um, the Twitter
Okay.
space is good. And
Thanks.
yeah, I think we have everything straight good here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on, Jay. 1 second. Okay, hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to get that get right.
After all of that, right?
We don't need no proof.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
don't need
yeah,
no
shit.
evidence. Okay.
I hear you.
All right. So back to what we were saying.
Yes.
Um, but you were saying that the freight um wasn't coming clear. I mean, wasn't up to date on the charts
Yeah. So going back to the charts,
because you
it's
were
kind of
saying.
like
Go
I
ahead.
mean, it doesn't really show. It's not clear. It's just a bunch of and the stuff that is here looks like it's from 2024. Some of it's from early 2025. Yeah, that's something. That's ridership, passenger vehicles, TSA screenings, international flight departures, domestic, total flight.
Oh, domestic. That's the one we need. Is that the domestic one?
Domestic, that's for flights. This
Oh,
says
right.
flights, yeah. Um, mm,
International, domestic flight. Yeah.
yeah. Supply chain and thing, okay. The freight movement. Let's see. Loading. Oh,
Freight movement.
yeah, that's what I clicked on.
Oh, I'm looking at the. I'm looking at the YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's delayed.
Yeah, yeah.
My bad.
No, you're fine.
Now,
Capacity
where's
of
the legend at?
yeah, that's well. See, I think that's it right here. Is the year capacity of container ships calling at U.S. ports. It has the
That's a
number
downward turn.
and the time of year. This is a little confusing.
So 2025 is the red one.
The dark red, light wine red one. I'm trying to find it. Okay, here it is. 4/27/2025. It says capacity of container ships calling at US. That's capacity, okay. Loaded import containers at select US ports. Uh okay, that doesn't do it. Loaded exports, empty export containers, empty export containers.
I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but the charts look like they going down at the end. Do you see that?
Yeah, but these are
The,
like different times. For different.
oh, okay.
Okay, number of container ships anchored off U.S. port. Now this one may be showing for 2025. Yeah, see, this one is low for 2025. This is 5/6/2025. It says 0 vessels. Number of container ships anchored off U.S. ports.
Mm-hmm.
Now for 2020, okay, wait, it says container ships anchored off U.S. ports 5/6/25 says 8. Oh, these are different places. Okay, west, east, and Gulf. So for the west, it was 0. For the Gulf, there was man, this is like all bunched together.
Mm-hmm.
0 as well in the Gulf on 5/6. So that's a little telling. 5/6 and the west and in the Gulf, there were 0 number of vessels, and in the East Coast, it was 8 on
Mm-hmm.
5/6, which was yesterday. Now compare that to
A month ago.
okay, let's just say okay, you said a month ago, all right, because it goes back pretty far. Um, okay, 4/8 it had 0 in the West and 1 on the Gulf for 4/8. But so like okay, let's just go back to 4/2/24 had 0 on the Gulf. 4/10/24 had 0 on the West. 3/19/24 had 1. So it seems like a lot of them, but I mean, it looks like over time, even if you go from like 2020, Two,
Mhm.
you started seeing a downward trajectory all across the board, it looks like. And
Yeah,
it
yeah.
just tapers off over the last few years. Now, assuming this
Mhm.
is, you know, this is just number of container ships.
Yeah.
What's the container ships? I don't know. This metric shows the number of container ships within U.S. boundaries that are inbound, not outbound, that have AIS status anchored and are not moored berthed. This metric is a snapshot. Uh, the vessels are counted using AIS Live by Merid on Tuesday afternoons. Okay. Containers, containerized exports to U.S. ports. Where are we at in 2025? It doesn't have that yet. It only has up to 24.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, needless to say, listeners, we're learning. This is where you get educated.
yeah, a lot of information here. There's different ways to break it down. Tons of different
Mm,
ways, and it has like all the different locations. It's, I guess probably Louisiana, that's Savannah, all of the ports, all U.S. container ports. What's interesting, it looks like from after COVID, surprisingly, you had a spike, but then it went down.
right.
Like even
Which is why we hear people say that they haven't really recovered since COVID-19. Well,
mhm.
the chart shows you exactly why. It's went down and it's just stayed the same.
Yeah, well, this is interestingly enough when people were saying they were hurting in this time frame, but a lot of the news media was saying, "Oh, well, the stock market's doing great. Shut up."
Mhm. Mhm.
But as you can see here, like you said, Big Papa, um, folks ain't quite recovered yet. So, um, oops, excuse me. Let's see.
So the highest point on this was when that dark line that goes all the way to the top. When was it the highest?
All right, so this says February 1st, 2022 is the highest point in
Okay.
this graph for number of container ships awaiting berths at all U.S. ports. Yeah, that's all container ports is the blue line.
Mhm.
And so that's the highest it looks like was 155 is the value that they gave February
Mhm.
1st, 2022. So where the latest one is 5/6/2025, the value is 8. So it goes from what about 155 to 8? That's a big drop, right?
Right.
And then, you know, just looking at how another point. All right, so February 22, it was 155. You had a dip here. May 10, 22, it went from 155 to 61. Then it went up 2 months later, July 22 to 119. Then it has a sharp drop here to November of 44, all the way down, just keeps going down into 23 at the lowest point of
Mhm.
being 5 in 23.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it just kind of goes up and down, up and down, up and down. The highest point being February of 25 at 42. And then now we're, according to this, is at 8 container ships awaiting berth. So that's ones that are on their way, I assume.
Mhm. What does birth mean? Do you hear my background,
No.
or do I? Okay. Good.
Um, let's look that up. What does a ship awaiting berth mean? are container ships awaiting berth.
Yeah, because they could say waiting to be loaded, maybe. I wish we could see
Maybe. Well,
the
you try
the
about that one.
train. What'd you say?
Container ships wait at berth because they need a designated area within port to dock, unload, and load cargo. If a ship arrives before an assigned berth is available, or if there are delays in unloading and loading, it may have to wait at anchor in a waiting area until berth opens up. So
Okay, so this is
basically,
like a parking spot.
yeah.
Okay.
And so, yeah.
So if it's high, then that means it's traffic coming through.
hmm
But if it's low, that means ain't nothing. Nobody's there. Nothing
Not
is
as
coming
much.
in, and nothing is going out.
But it seems like it's been that way for the last 3 years.
But I wish they could switch that to show which ports, like east, west, Gulf, or what.
Well, so this is the blue line here is all U.S. container ports.
Mm-hmm.
The red line is LALB. Let me keep only. What is LALB? Let me see if I can figure out what LA. Port of Los Angeles and Port of Long Beach. So
Okay.
this is
Too much
California.
yeah, that's the ports that come in from China. Like China uses those ports the most.
hmm
Those two and the one in Seattle.
Okay. So this one here, they had a high in looks like 22, January 22, 106.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 106 was the highest in January of 22. Drops if to 35 in April 22. Continues to drop 10 in August of 22 to the lowest of 0 in November of 22. Did that for a whole month. It looks like it was from
Mm-hmm.
November 22nd, 22, all the way through the new year, January 3rd, 23, still at 0. Then they start to get some into the 17th at 1. And then it's just kind of been very low over the last few years, it looks like. So,
Okay.
yeah. Let's see what the other one, or hold on. All right, get the other ones. Right. So I don't know how to get the other ones to come back.
Okay.
Um, okay. Gotta love
Elon, there's something wrong with your website.
gotta love .gov. You just gotta love it. Never fails. Mhm.
I thought that y'all were looking into fraud and those things. Whoever created this website is fraudulent.
And the issue with all of these government sites is that they have so much data to it that it's not good at handling it.
You're doing too much, man.
Yeah, we just look at that shit. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. See, that's why I didn't want to refresh it because I knew it was going to take freaking forever to do it. Excuse my language. Okay, so now we have Savannah. Oops. Okay, so Savannah is
That's the
purple.
Gulf.
Well, I would say that's more like, because Savannah's Georgia, which is East Coast.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm scared to do that because, all right, whatever. So purple Savannah. um, Looks like they had a high of 43 in September of 22,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of just does like the rest of them over time.
Mm-hmm.
He has like high
Bottoms
points
out.
and low points, yeah. But it definitely, after COVID, across the board, there was some sort of increase, and then after COVID, like when they lifted restrictions,
Mm-hmm.
it just kind of, it's been more or less the same, it looks like. So
Maintaining.
as far as when we're looking at this metric of container ships awaiting berths, which, as we learned, this basically ships waiting to be parked, essentially.
And dock.
Uh,
Well, docked, I guess.
yeah. Docked. That's the appropriate term, correct. So these are railroads. We know the trains are rolling.
Yes, we do know that, but it's not 100% full. The train is not full.
I don't think the train is supposed to always be full. That's like a dangerous thing, though, right? You don't want a train full of
Oh,
stuff.
with so much weight.
Yeah. But look, I say that, but then they'll load it up full of chemicals so it can like spill in a small town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. What do I know? I'm just a dumb realtor. All right. I
What
had,
was that? It dipped down like that.
where was that? This one. This one?
Average planning. Yeah, where I'm looking at the delay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Average planning time. Index 10 bottleneck locations. Oh, yeah. See, this was April 2020. You know what happened then? That was where you had a big drop because there weren't as many things
Mm-hmm.
going on. Nothing's nothing's gotten back to 2019 levels.
Right.
Yeah,
So if you can imagine that, nothing has gotten better since COVID,
right.
and now it's gonna get worse. So how long do you think it's gonna take, in your opinion? How long do you believe it would take to recover back to pre-COVID-19?
Man, I'll be honest with you, Dick Hoffman. I don't think that we ever gonna get back to pre-COVID ever. You know how I say
Mm-hmm.
all this stuff is manufactured? This is
Mm-hmm.
exactly what they wanted. They want people like this. They don't want people to, have stuff.
But I could also say the value of a dollar, like you can clearly tell that the the uh the value of a dollar is less.
Say what?
Like the value of a dollar, how strong it was, it's weaker than it was.
Oh yeah, well there's a lot of things going on with that. I don't know if you're familiar with international news, but um a lot of African countries are essentially fighting against the West. And when I say fighting, I mean they're basically taking their resources back.
Yeah.
and they're getting a lot of backing from China and Russia. And as you know, they have their push of their own currency, BRICS.
Mhm.
So, and a lot of the African countries, they're trying to back their money with gold, which is actually pretty smart, unlike the United States, which backs its money off of its ability to nuke you, which is just terrifying. So
Can we look
there you
that
go.
up? Who? Can we look that up? The currency. What is it called? It's a chart, and it shows which currency is the strongest.
Um, let's see
Is that
here.
the search term?
I just looked at like currency rates. Um, mm, no, that's like some forex stuff. Uh, currency value. I don't know. What are you trying to? What are you trying to figure out? What's the strongest thing right now?
In the entire world, where does America land? Does China have the strongest dollar that's valued more? Is the euro, like, if I was to uh I guess, what am I trying to say? You know how we say that the US dollar is weak right now?
Mhm,
Like, it's not worth as much as it used to. Like, one of our US dollars could get us £3
mhm,
in England or Great Britain. But
mhm.
now for the it's £2 for every dollar, I believe, is the conversion rate. I believe that's right.
I'm trying to find it. They try to keep this stuff from us.
What could you say? Currency rankings? Let's see.
I just typed in what is the most valuable currency, but currency rankings probably isn't that either. Currency rankings. So according to Wise, which was that, everything keeps taking me to Forex.
I
Well, according
put
to this list, oh, go ahead.
go you go ahead.
This list here says the top 10 strongest currencies. I don't know if they're in any particular order. It just says here are the top 10 strongest global currencies: dinar,
Where is that at?
Bahraini
Kuwait.
dinar, Omani rial, Jordanian dinar, British pound, Gibraltar pound, Cayman Island dollar, Swiss franc, euro, and the US dollar.
So one. Okay, well that's top 10.
Yeah. But you're trying to figure out
That's,
like who's the top dog. Yeah.
yeah, I
Mm.
think that's what is showing up on my screen. Um, Kuwaiti.
It says last we have the US dollar, the world's 10th strongest currency. So apparently that is the 10th strongest currency is the US dollar.
Oh, okay.
That's what this is saying.
Mhm.
It says you might be surprised not to see the dollar high up on the list as it's by far the most traded currency on the planet. Plus, the US economy is the biggest in the world in terms of GDP, gross domestic production. The dollar is used to price commodities, and it's also one of the world's largest reserve currencies. Major US banks are also global leaders. However, the strength of a currency is determined by complex factors, including supply and demand in the foreign exchange market. Mhm. So yeah, that
Mm,
goes back to like what I was saying with, this now threat to the United States dominancy on being the most traded currency in the planet. But the
mhm.
United States kind of brought this on themselves. When you sanction other countries and think that you're gonna hurt them, and then they come back stronger than before,
Right. It
and they
doesn't.
start to make friends with all the people that you stabbed in the back.
Mhm.
What do you expect? I don't know.
Well, shit. The proof is in the numbers. Proof is in the pudding.
You're right. It is. It is. It is. It's right there. It's right there. It is so.
So if
Ah.
things get worse
Mhm.
and more countries we aren't getting along with, um, that number is gonna go lower and lower down the list.
I mean, you know, it'll be one of those things. I think it'll happen at some point where the U.S. is
Mhm.
not going to be number one.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to be around for that day because I've never seen that. I mean, is it number one right now? That's debatable. But at least the perception is we're number one still.
Yeah, that's the perception. But I think that more people are starting to realize that, like,
Mhm. What the West is doing and how it meddles and how it destroys, and yeah, it's just a lot that
not just only that, like how
mhm.
China is in the future, like they're futuristic, and
Right.
like and Japan and all of those other places where they are so many years into the future,
Mhm.
and then you come to America, and America's like, but this is supposed to be the great country, the great country of the West. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It ain't as bad. It ain't as bad as some countries, but
Yeah.
it's better
No,
off.
you're
You better off going to Japan or China if you want to see some like futuristic stuff.
yeah. Yeah. No, I
And
mean you're
like
not wrong.
those sanctuaries that they have, they had all those different places that you can go and view and see, and then they have Disney World and stuff out there.
Yeah.
It's
And you
just
know what?
we
They
don't
can
know the
afford to go
language.
out there. They can
Huh?
they can afford to go out to Disney World, unlike here in America where it's like, oh, it costs too much to go to Disney World with a family of four.
Right, but it's cheaper to go to Disney World in I'm sorry, in Japan or China. Their tickets are cheaper than in the United States.
Let's see what their excuse is. Oh well, we can get away with paying the people less
Mhm. Mhm.
than we
Mhm.
can here in the United States. So
Right.
yeah.
So it's quite everything is just interesting to me. Now, did you I forgot who it was, but they were under I don't know if they were under investigation or if it was like they were asking him questions, but they asked him about China. You know how Trump been saying that he's been in talks with China, and they're trying to he's trying to break a deal with them and all of this stuff.
Hmm.
When that guy went into investigation, they asked him uh, about China. He said there is no talks with China.
Hmm.
He said that under oath.
Yeah.
and that was today. I don't know who that guy is, but I think it's the guy that they're trying to replace with Hegseth. But
Mm.
don't quote me on that. But the guy that they was investigating him, and so America, your president is trying to tell you that we're in talks with China. We're not, and no conversation is being made.
Well, I'm pulled up something from CNBC. Trump's ambassador to China sworn in ahead of high stakes talks in Switzerland. Um, okay, concerning the U.S. economy. Okay. Yeah, so this is interesting. This is just published today.
Mhm.
President Donald Trump's pick for U.S. ambassador to China was sworn in on Wednesday, days before White House officials are set to meet with their Chinese counterparts for the first time since Trump announced his 14.5, oh, excuse me, 145% tariffs. Excuse me.
Mhm. Excuse.
Um, so there you go. He just sworn in an ambassador to China. And so, yeah, ain't nothing been going on. They ain't even have an ambassador.
Right.
Right.
And at least
At
the
least they
ambassador would try to like smooth things over, or
child. Look, say hello to Chinese President Xi Jinping when you're over there, please. Trump added. My God.
mm,
Purdue assumes his diplomatic post days before high stakes talks get underway in Switzerland between America and Chinese officials. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessonnet, whatever, and U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer will meet with their Chinese counterparts in Geneva Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, so they all doing it this week. They ain't did nothing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when your president is trying to tell you that he's been in talks, which he's been going on TV saying that he has not been in talks with anyone. Okay, and I would be very surprised to see how this is gonna go down this weekend. And of course,
Trump
we will be
reiterated on
on
Wednesday
to
that he would
report.
not consider rescinding the tariffs on China to kickstart negotiation, raising questions about whether the two nations will reach any deals this weekend. Yeah, ain't nothing gonna happen. It's gonna be a whole bunch of pomp and circumstance, as they love to
Mm,
do. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
and and so Trump is gonna send the ambassador there, but Trump is not going.
that's probably for the best.
Yeah, probably JD Vance will be there and show his ass like he normally do.
Well, 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 wow, a mess. A
Oh, what a
mess.
way to be a citizen in America.
This is America, living in
Okay, so did
America.
you hear about India shooting missiles at Iran?
Mm-mm. No, I haven't really been keeping up with the Middle East conflicts.
I think it was, yeah, missiles or rockets or
India,
something.
Iran. I'm just Googling and see what comes up.
Okay.
um, said they had a missile exchange.
And so they're saying that's gonna be the the next thing that occurs, the next war, India versus Iran.
Mm. Well, it seems like there's some tensions. What else is new? Now is that tensions over yonder. I hope they can work it out. without the U.S. involvement, but hopefully we don't have to stick our nose in stuff that doesn't really matter to us. But
Ooh.
good luck with that. We're gonna do it.
There was some talk today about the new pope,
Mm.
and they didn't make a decision today at the conclave, but they did. I guess talks are coming out that they were considering a few, like a handful of cardinals. One of them is from Africa,
He
another
ain't gonna
one's
get
from
it.
Asia,
He ain't gonna get it.
um, and then there's one that's Spanish,
He ain't
and
gonna get it.
he's kind of like the he has a lot of the same views as the Pope that just died.
And that's what they don't want. They don't want a pope like the one that just died.
And apparently,
They,
there's a movie called Conclave. I
mm,
haven't seen it, but
mhm,
they say that if you want to know, like, kind of how what they're doing, what it is, to watch that movie, and you'll
mhm,
see. Now, some of it's fictional, but most of it is correct.
mhm, mhm.
For the girlies who want to find something to watch this weekend.
Yes, indeed.
So yeah, so that happened, and then um, I don't know if we talked about that Trump wanted to put tariffs on movies, and if anyone uh makes a movie off of the U.S. shore, that it would be charged a 100% tariff on it.
Oh,
Did you hear about that? That he
no.
said that movies should be only made in America. So any movies that's foreign being made foreign and then brought back to America to do it, he said he don't want that. And they also said that where Trump got that Alcatraz stuff, that he wants to um get Alcatraz back, like, built up. No, I've never seen Alcatraz myself. It's in the San Francisco Bay.
Mhm.
Have you? Have
I
you
know
went
there
on a
was a
tour
show
there?
called Alcatraz. No,
Oh,
but I've
oh, okay.
seen the show Alcatraz, and it's like, um, it's based on,
The prison.
yeah, and like the famous prisoners that were held there, kind
Yeah.
of.
So,
Mm,
number one, well, they were saying that he came up with that from the from him watching TV over the weekend, which, and that was because I guess the show that you talking about, or the movie or whatever,
mm,
that movie was playing that weekend in Mar-a-Lago where he was at, because he was in Mar-a-Lago playing golf or whatever.
mm,
And so they think that he got that whole idea about Alcatraz from the movie that was playing, that he had to have been watching that movie, and now he's all obsessed with movies being made in America and reopening Alcatraz. But at the end of the day, reopening Alcatraz, that's going to be millions and millions of dollars, okay, to get that fixed. What he says, millions and billions, billions and millions. No, it's going to take a whole bunch of them to get Alcatraz back up and running. Employ them white boys that they love so much. Employ them to go out there and be security guards
mm.
and all of
Well,
that, because they
I
said
think,
you can't drive there, right?
like,
It's on its own island.
yeah, yeah, I think it's like boat or helicopter or some shit. Yeah. But I think Trump just says a lot of stuff to troll people to get reactions out of them.
Hmm.
He's
As long as
very good at
he's
doing that.
ahead of the news, as long as he's the news, he's ahead of the news. He'll, and I forgot what the actual term of it is, but there's a term to it where you do so much news every day that people forget about what you
Uh,
did a month ago.
well, yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's all part of the
But
distraction. Yeah.
unfortunately, there
Mhm.
are people who ain't forgetting everything that has happened. And I mean, of course, he's gonna do whatever he wants to do because he doesn't have to do a debate ever again. He knows that if the excuse me, if the Democrats take over power again, like in the Senate and in the House and in the presidency, he knows that they're going to employ the FBI to investigate him if he's not already being investigated.
Yeah.
So I just feel like he's
Wait, say
walking out
what?
like, huh?
What'd you say?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I didn't I heard you, but I didn't quite get what you said.
What I was saying was is he's doing the most because he knows that when his 4 year term is up, that whoever is next in the seat, if they're not MAGA or a Republican, period, then he's going to be investigated.
They already did that for 3, 4 years and nothing came of it.
Right, but I'm thinking that they're going to try to find something,
So
you
you're
know.
saying that they would weaponize the justice system like they did the last 3 years?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what would happen. Just like they've done. They weaponized it and you had all that stuff and nothing came of it and he ended up winning.
Well, he still has that thing in New York, though.
Yeah, and all of them about to get locked up too. So checkmate.
So
For
yeah,
literally
it's
the
just
same
really
exact thing they accusing him of. So it's like all of
hmm
them crooked. Mm.
crazy. So what else occurred? Um, I did hear that there was a third woman who came up about Shannon Sharp,
Ah.
but she's white, but she had like red curly hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. uh, crazy.
Oh, child.
Um, so I told you wrong about that case. It wasn't in New York. It was in Minnesota, where the lady said had called the little autistic black boy the N word.
Hmm.
Did you ever look that up?
I saw something on that on Roland Martin's stream, Black Star Network. So
Some
yes.
people are starting to say that that's a made up story and that the lady's a clout chaser or something.
Mm.
But if anything, it
Well, if
really
that
showed.
turns out to be true, if that turns out to be true, her GoFundMe will close her account down and refund everybody's their donations if it comes out to be false.
Stop. Yeah, but my if this was like a real thing, and I have questions for again the black legal class in America. Hello, where are you? I mean, this couldn't be another community. We have laws against hate crimes. If somebody commits a hate crime, especially against a child, I mean, you got a couple of things. He was autistic, so that's special needs. He's got, that. She got called a certain names, or he got called
Mhm.
certain names. So, I mean, like, what's going on with that? Like, why can't we have our community, our legal class go out and actually do something about what was done? It seems like these things happen to our community and nothing gets addressed about it. And it's just very frustrating because
Yeah.
it's not fair. And again, we have rights that protect us, but if we don't enforce these rights and demand that things be done when something like this happens, then that sets a terrible precedent and allows these people to think that they can do this to us, and that's not right.
Mhm. Yep. It gives them the green light.
Yeah, and that's not good. That's not good. That's not what we need. Again, you can't call a little Asian person something, or you can't call a little Jewish person something and get away with it. But you can call a
Mhm.
little black boy something and get away with it, and raise millions of dollars in the process. I mean, come on,
The grift show. When is the grifting gonna stop?
when is the
If
grift
it's
going to
not.
stop with the black legal class that are out here flaunting and finagling like they doing something? And then when something like this happens, they ain't nowhere to be found. That's the fraud right there. They all the way up on Instagram and TikTok, bouncing around, looking for the next Diddy party to go to and stuff like that, instead of actually doing something about stuff that happens to their community. But I think part of that's because half of them work for, you know,
The man.
organizations that aren't black, that require them to sit down and shut up and dribble, sadly.
Mhm. Yeah.
It-
That's very possible. Very possible because they got to sign a contract.
yeah, they do. They do have to sign a contract.
So,
And the moment they get out of line or they start saying, "Oh, I'm here fighting for my people," your people,
right, you belong to us. You
your
belong to
people.
us.
Right, okay. That's what you thought. You thought you were fighting for your people. No, no, no. Oh, but yeah, we'll continue our watching of this situation.
Yes, we'll have to come back and visit that when more news is available.
Yes, of course. Oh, honey, since
Um,
I've had my little nap today, I ain't eat no dinner. I'm hungry now. Oh my God, it's so late though.
I'm sitting here trying to put some granola in some protein yogurt.
And I need to go grocery shopping. Man, I'm in a bad way. I'm in a bad way, big dog.
Well, you know what happens when you ain't prepared, honey.
Oh my God.
Start.
Disaster incoming.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Mm, 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 mm.
Um, so today I had my broker in charge update. Big up, of
Mhm.
course.
Mhm.
Shout out to Jay Jordan Deloach Realty. He sponsors this program.
Mhm.
uh,
Powered by.
yeah, yes, indeed.
Mhm.
Um, I was in a room full of brokers,
Mhm.
and it was just really interesting because, in my opinion, it was just the same as like the general update, but the difference was like in case you had people underneath you. So they like made points like, oh, if you have associates or provisional brokers, at the end of the day, I think it'll be a while before I ever take on that kind of responsibility. Like I would have to be where I'm just like not doing anything because that's the whole job in itself, just managing people. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's why you would get a manager to manage people.
But see, the thing when you're a broker in charge and you're dealing with agents, you literally have to manage them because if something goes wrong, that falls on you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little different. That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of responsibility. And, that's where I don't get how, like, these big firms, how they
Mhm.
allow one broker in charge to be over hundreds of people. Like, I don't even, especially when you have provisional brokers, their insurance has to be insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, they do charge death fees. So you do pay for that insurance. It's not like they just give it to you. So,
Mm.
you know.
They got some good ass insurance.
Oh, yeah. Because most of them have like a big name too. So they have to. They can't afford that. They can't afford to have their name dragged through the mud over no nonsense. Oh, and that was the other thing too. We were talking about like how it's just important to have everything documented because you never know when you'll come across somebody who's like wanting to sue you.
Right. Dot your I's and cross all your T's. That's
Yeah, and
definitely how it is being a life insurance producer.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You have this form called professional services disclosure.
Mhm.
I like to call it the CYA because
Mhm.
it's at the end of the transaction. You basically say who did what. It says, all right, you had your appraisal done if you're a buyer, you had your inspection done, you had your loan done by this, you had your title done by the closing attorney. Did you want a survey? No, you didn't. Okay. Did you want a radon inspection? No, you didn't. Okay. Did you want flood insurance? No, you didn't. Okay. It's a CYA. So in case somebody comes back and say, "Oh, well, why didn't you make sure that I had this?" Well, you wait. Yeah.
Right.
Then right.
You
Yes,
signed
I
it.
got it. Right. So, because people suck. That was the theme of the. That was the theme. People suck.
Mhm.
Oh man, people suck. They're so
And
fucking
they're waiting on you to slip up.
like,
That's it. Cause they coming for that insurance money.
yeah, seeking who they may devour. Yeah,
Which I
long
mean,
and
if I
whole.
was done wrong in a situation, I would do the same thing. I would go after their insurance.
Well, of course, if you were done wrong, but in most cases, it's stupidity. And yeah, if you were
Mhm.
absolutely done wrong, like if you just had a negligent agent and they just was, screwing you over left and right every step of the way, yeah. Um, right. Sue them. Go about it any way you can. Go for their license. Do what you gotta do. But if it comes down to where it's like personal responsibility
Mhm.
and you just don't want to be responsible for yourself and you just want someone to blame because you don't want to be responsible for yourself. That's where it's just like, yeah, shame on you. You suck as a person. Because
Mm.
people just want a scapegoat. They want someone to blame.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah. All right, big dog. Anything else you want to say as we close out this broadcast?
If you are on X, formerly known as TikTok,
Twitter.
give us a like, give us a share, follow us on our what is our app?
Truth, power, perspective.
Okay. Add us at that. Add us at the TPP underscore podcast.
We're at. Where, we're at, Big Papa. Uh oh. Uh oh. We're at, Big Papa. Went away. I can't hear this. Say something. Say something.
And
Say it again because you went out. Where you at, Big Papa? Hello. Well, on that note,
can you hear me?
now we can. Okay.
I don't know what happened.
No idea.
Okay, what did you hear last?
You were saying the name of the place to add people, but I was like, where at? And if that's where I couldn't hear you.
Oh, did you hear me say TikTok?
No.
Okay. You
So
can
that's on TikTok.
give us a follow on TikTok at T as in Tom, P as in Paul, P as in Paul underscore podcast. We will give you a follow back. There you'll be able to see clips from the show where you can share, like, and favorite. On if you are listening to us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, give us a like, turn on your notification bell so you can be the first one in the chat to hear us when we're live.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
And you also get notifications on X if we're doing a space.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you, Big Papa. Till next
You're
time.
welcome. Till next time.
Have a good night.
You as well. Good night.
Mm.